Yay, Fridays are for the talk with Vanessa. And guess what? It's 3 days to my birthday. Yay. That's the 31st of July. So, talk about perfection. The last day of the seventh month. I know, I'm cool like that. Okay. Today is going to be Vanessa Willie in her elements. As a relationship coach, but before you start shooting your arrows, let me first say I know exactly how you feel. I mean, I get even saturated myself, listening to too much relationship talk, seminars, and it feels like it's an endless case or endless situation of love affairs. Social media everywhere. Everyone has something to say about relationships. Yet, divorce is at its all-time high. But this isn't something generic, I promise you. This podcast is nothing generic. And I hope that at the end of this message, you will make a decision that will improve your love life and your relationship at large. Now, in my eight years of counseling, I have experienced all kinds of emotions, but the ones that affect me the most is the high level of ignorance of people within dating, courting, marriage ages, whatever you choose. I'm talking about intimate relationships now. They are just naive or simply ignorant about the matters of the heart, love, and the likes. Let me just start by telling you the story. A few weeks ago, I ran into an unfortunate argument about why adults need relationship counsel. What still is why they need a counselor, as if they're sick or they're being treated like, there's a situation with them, like you would need a doctor generally. And I'm like, where do I even begin? A few weeks ago, like I see in counseling, a couple came in. Actually, they are not a couple yet. They are intending couples. Someone brought them, dragged them to come have a meeting with me. And whilst we're having the conversation, the guy just goes, sorry, why are we doing this again? If I'm mature enough to say I want to get married to someone, I certainly know about relationships. I've been dating this girl I'm about to get married to for 2 years, so I really don't know why I'm here. And the girl goes, yeah, me too. We love each other and we've agreed to get married. I don't know why, my friend insists that we come see you. And I was like, okay, so when I getting married? They said next month. I said, fantastic. So you go get married and then let's talk after you're married. But like, is that all? I said, yes. And, the girl repeated, as in, is that all? I said, yes. The reason being that someone referred you to me and there was a reason why the person asked you to come for counseling. But if you don't see the need, I wouldn't want to waste my time trying to talk to you. So let's have this conversation when you see or feel the need to. And then they just both grumbled and stormed out. Now, in this argument I was telling you about that happened a few days ago, when that conversation was going on, I was like, of course, I wouldn't say I was a relationship counselor or anything like that. I just asked, so why do you think it's wrong for you to seek counsel before you tie the knot or before you say I do? And the girl says, churches offer these solutions. If you want to get married, she's a Catholic. She says that they do 3 months, 6 months of premarital counseling, the same in other churches, Orthodox churches. And I think it's very generic. Everyone knows about relationship, a thing or two. There are a lot of books. When you want to get married, you prepare, read books, and, it helps you understand this, then why do you want to go and spend money seeing a counselor? If bad as it bad, you would have an aunt or your mom should tell you how relationships are done. Your mom was successfully married to your dad for 30 something years, as the case may be. I began to understand for the first time the reason marriages and relationships are suffering what they're suffering. Let me give you a shocker. Statistics have shown that grief and loss are one of the top common reasons for depression. And that is what a lot of relationships today are characterized with: grief, loss. You're in a relationship and you have problems. when that relationship is not going well, you have trouble sleeping, no appetite, lots of pleasure or activity or interest in activities that are, you normally respond to. These are signs of depression, and depression, if not well managed, can make someone suicidal. So how is it that we trivialize an issue so serious as this because you can get it over the counter, or because everyone seems to know or have a thing to know, something to say about relationships? Now, the sad thing is that being married for 28 years is not synonymous with happiness. While I appreciate the wealth of experience that you would have gathered in 27 years, it is very vital to what we do or what I do. But another crucial aspect of that is being able to administer this experience to somebody else in a way that it doesn't make them feel less of themselves or make them feel like failures. What we get most of the times from older people who are married is they talk down at you or make you feel less of yourself, which doesn't help someone who is going through a relationship. And another thing that a lot of people who have been married or in a relationships forget is that you're dealing with human beings, and every human being is peculiar in the way that they were created. Hence, there are baselines, no doubt, of how to make a relationship work. But those baselines, even as basic as they are, they also need to be applied with certain wisdom, which is peculiar to the individual that you're going out with or you're intending to get married to. The fact that it was said that a way to a man's heart was through his stomach doesn't work for someone who isn't into food. He wakes up in the morning and a cup of tea is fine for him. So how do you win that person's heart? I always tell people relationships are like food. We can go to the market and purchase the same item to cook, jollof rice, for example, and with the same ingredients, everything. But as long as it's two different individuals that are making it, the food would taste different, even though the ingredients are the same. Reason being that the quantity, the application is different. The reason why you need a relationship counselor, and the reason why I want to use this opportunity to beg every clergy person or anyone out there who puts themselves in a place of relationship counseling, please take it up a notch. Acquire the skills that helps you to administer this counsel properly. Yes, you have the years of experience. Yes, you're a clergy person. Maybe God talks to you. Yes, I appreciate all of that. But please, as much as you can help it, try to acquire the skill, understand the psychology behind humanity and the way human beings think, and understand the different temperaments. When you have a client before you, you already know the approach that you should use, passing across the same message but with different methods. That is why you need a relationship counselor. It's unfortunate that it's free, it's over the counter, that you can get it. Everyone giving relationship counsel, the fact that they can talk about relationship doesn't make them an authority or make them, I don't know how to put this without having to sound derogatory. All I'm trying to say is that be careful who you get relationship counsel from. It is very important, because the relationship or who you choose to get married to has the capacity to change your life forever. Make no mistakes about it. The social media can make you feel like, you can opt in and opt out as you like, or divorce, is the other alternative. Ask those who have been divorced. Life is never the same. In fact, statistics have proven that the propensity for a relationship or a marriage, a second marriage, to end in failure, it's almost as high as 60%, if I'm not mistaken. With the numbers, I think it's about 60%. So you get married now, you didn't make it work, you want to jump into another marriage. The chances of that relationship ending in a divorce is even way higher than the chances that you had in your previous marriage. That is not to say that if you're a divorced person, you should feel less of yourself. Yes, there are obvious cases when you have given it your all and it still didn't work. Don't beat yourself up. It just didn't work. But for you who is a single person, you have the opportunity right now to make the decision for the rest of your life. And you have the choice to do it right. For the woman, you have the freedom to choose who you want to submit to. Don't be in a hurry to throw that freedom away. I know you've been told over time marriage completes you. Not all the time. If you're an unhappy person, whether you get married or not, you will still remain an unhappy person. If care is not taken, if you're an unhappy person, marriage will make you feel worse because you come into that marriage with a lot of expectations that are probably not going to be met, and then your frustration is heightened. And for you who is a man, I know you're a man, you don't feel the need to sit down and talk to someone. If marriage is something that you want to do, I suggest you take it seriously because, as is the core of what I do, I'm very passionate about children from dysfunctional homes. The society at large is a product of families, and families, at large, is what builds and makes a nation. If you have raising dysfunctional children, they will in turn display their dysfunctionality in the society, and you and I are going to feel it. Forget about what you see on social media nowadays. What is trending is celebrities showing videos of the time that they're spending with their son. We don't need to know how much of a father you are to your children. It is your responsibility. You don't need to advertise it. We don't want to know. In fact, that is not a proof of proper parenting. The fact that you're able to have baby mamas all around the world and still think that you're creating time for them. I remember something Obama said when I was in America for a summit. He said the problem that he has discovered to be the major issue with Black Americans, African Americans, is children that are being raised without their fathers. Absentee fathers are the reason why Black Americans, have a high case of criminal records in their history. Apart from all they've had to go through or deal with as a people, having this absence of fathers. And please don't tell me you send them to the best school. Please don't tell me you're sending them to the best schools. You make out time, to be with them. I read something hilarious, a few days back. Some celebrity said, there are people who are, he's a better dad or something, a better dad than those who are, married and things like that. Oh, well, we don't know, and it's almost as if he was trying to promote this syndrome of having baby mamas. There are situations that it can be helped, and you happen to be a baby daddy or a baby mama. This is not throwing shades at you. But what I'm trying to say is that let's stop trivializing this issue about family and about marriage. We are all a reflection of our experiences, especially our childhood experiences, and it must not be taken for granted, because if we don't begin to do the right thing right now, we are going to be raising monsters in a few years. ISIS will be a joke compared to the kind of children that we're going to raise, because I see a lot of broken adults trying to raise children who they transfer their brokenness to, and the children grow up becoming broken adults, and the cycle continues on and on. This week, I'm just going to be focusing on a few things on how dysfunctionality affects a child. You can go and listen to my previous podcast. You will see that I'm particularly picking issues around marriage and around children. My first podcast was of a boy, 18-year-old, very brilliant chap, who, as a result of dysfunctionality in his home, almost lost his life. But thank God for God. So this is my message to you today. I don't know what you've been told about relationships. You may be able to get it from your pastor, your pastor's wife. You may be able to get it from your imam, whoever. If that person is not certified, if the person doesn't have the skill to help you, you may still end up being married and have the obvious challenges. Have you ever wondered why it feels like there's a crusade of relationship seminars everywhere, yet the divorce rate has only but heightened? If it be say market they sell, people feel like talk about relationship, it will sell, people will come. But it's much more than that. You're dealing with people's lives. And the sad thing about it is that when you feel hurt, you become very unproductive. You can't do your job. Some people will say, that is why I don't want to do relationship. Oh, it is easier. Let me just go and look for money. Yeah, but the truth, money would never fill the void that loving someone and having someone love you back can fill. No amount of sex, no amount of drugs, no amount of money is going to be able to fill up that void. So you can, deny all you want, but in the long run, after all said and done in your life, what will matter? In the end, what will matter are the memories that you built. I hope that when you look back at your life 15, 20 years from today, that you will be proud of the person and how you treated the people who loved you and the people who you should have loved, who you wanted to love, but you felt you were not strong enough to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Now, I want to talk about another thing that makes it difficult for people to understand the importance of seeking counsel before tying the knot. Tradition. Sometimes I've seen people come for counseling. I mean, there was a case of a lady who came to my office, and it was obvious that she has been abused by her husband. And then when I started asking to find out the root, she goes, "Oh no, I fell down, it's not a problem." And I'm like, seriously? You're sitting in front of a counselor, someone who you came to for help, and you can't even be honest with that person. Isn't that funny? The benefits of having a professional counsel you is that your secrets are safe. In fact, they are liable to losing whatever certification they have if the information that you share with them is divulged. So you can be sure to trust them, that you can tell them something that your husband will not hear tomorrow. That is the benefit. But you can't guarantee that if you're talking to someone who just you perceive to know about relationship. Take that under advisement. Okay? There's so much to say, but I'm out of time. This is just my advice to you on this birthday week of mine. Until I come your way next week, Friday, I'm still your favorite lady. Keep loving, keep living, keep enjoying. Many thanks to Bella Nanja for being a proud media partner of The Talk with Vanessa. Thank you so much. Don't forget to reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at The Talk with Vanessa, or you can send an email to thetalkwithvanessa@gmail.com. And you also don't forget to subscribe to our SoundCloud channel